is up, everybody? James Jackson here, back again with another video. If you're new to my channel, I do tips and tricks and gear review for the film and video making industry. So if you do like the content here, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like, it really does help out the channel, and hit the bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. So we got a little bit of an update today on Canon's roadmap for the RF line from Canon Rumors. And basically we are getting some really interesting lenses, some lenses that are very niche, as well as some I think some very versatile, affordable lenses, as well as continuing the professional line of the L series. So if we look at the lens series right now, as you will see here, we are looking at least what Canon Rumors was reporting coming from Nakashita, that we are going to get in 2020 a Canon RF 50 millimeter f1.8 STM lens, which, if you are not familiar with the FTM lens, the 50 millimeter, that is the legendary nifty 50. It's probably the most affordable Canon lens. It's probably the lens that you start off with as a beginner. So if you are someone who owns the Canon RP and you're just learning things for filmmaking, and you got that, this is going to be a great pickup. It's probably going to definitely be affordable. Right now, the EF version is $125. So I'm not expecting I'm expecting a little bit of a premium, but not that much. I'm thinking 175, 200 max. I could be wrong, but that's the range I'm looking about. But still, that's for a 50 millimeter lens, that's pretty decent. It's a solid little camera, a solid little lens, especially if you're just starting off. So that's one. Another one that we're looking at is the Canon RF f2 Macro IS STM lens. So this is going to be a great alternative for if you're looking at that 85 millimeter f1.2 L glass, and you're looking at the price and you're like, oh my gosh, that's super expensive for a glass like that. This is going to be a great alternative for that, if you may want to just get something to start off with and maybe save up to get something of the 85 millimeter f1.2. But this is a good solid lens to have in your kit. Again, great for beginners. But now we're going to get to some of the new L glass that's going to be a little bit profile, but again, I think these are going to be a lot more affordable options of the professional line. So you got a 70-200 f4 IS USM L series glass. So this is basically an alternative to the 70-200 f2.8 IS glass. I think this is going to be a lot more affordable. This is probably, I'm going to guess, around $1,500, maybe even less. I do know the f4 version of this, the EF version of this lens, is probably one of the most affordable L series glass out there right now. You can get one of the, if you're not interested in the RF version, you may want to look at the EF version. That one is just about $1,000 if I remember correctly. So you got alternatives, but this is going to be a much more affordable, telephoto zoom lens. So all those portrait photographers and even wedding shooters, this may be your option if you got lights and you're able to light and you got a bright reception or a bright ceremony. This is going to be a great option that can save you a little bit of money. So the next one we have is the Canon RF 100-500 f4 to 5.7 L IS lens. This one is going to be, again, I think another affordable option camera that's going to be an alternative. And for those, this is, I think, purely for the wildlife photographers and wildlife videographers that want, and some sports shooters as well. You do obviously lose some light when you're zooming in, but you'll be, to me, this is definitely more for the photography side because of that variable aperture. But it's still a solid one. It's still a solid lens, and it's going to be a great lens. I think this is going to be definitely another popular lens. And then we're going to probably the most interesting lenses, in my personal opinion, of this lineup. We got a Canon RF 600mm f11 DO IS STM lens. Now, for some of you that are maybe wondering, what the hell does DO stand for? Well, DO stands for diffraction optics. And if you're wondering, well, what the f is diffraction optics? Well, for just a little tutorial about lenses. So as you know with aperture, as you stop down on the aperture, the aperture closes. However, light doesn't just go through a straight line and just concentrates in a single point. Light bends and light goes all different places. That is what we call diffraction. And basically in that point, the problem with diffraction is you lose a lot of sharpness when you stop down. So if you stop down far enough, like f11, f22, you actually lose softness. So your image just starts becoming more softer, so it's not, so typically you want to be wide open, or you want to be maybe a stop or two, typically a stop or two lower, just to get the best optics of the lenses. With diffraction optics, basically what that does is it's a ring, it's a little piece, or it's a ring in the beginning that basically concentrates the light, helps concentrate the light to go into the center. So when you're at a slower aperture, you are able to keep all that sharpness and quality. So, and because this is an f11 lens, you're going to need all the help you're going to get with this. Same thing with the 800mm as well. So they're both the same. And these are very interesting because you're going to need a lot of light. These are going to be very, very niche lenses, like specifically wildlife photography lenses, very specifically probably Sahara, desert, places where you can use the sun to your advantage, photography. So if you are someone of that who maybe has that very niche, this is going to be an interesting option, and I'm guessing this is going to be a lot more affordable because it's not part of the L series lens. This is an STM lens, but just so I don't know what the price would be, but just so you know, the EF versions that are the L versions of these lenses, they are $1,300 a piece. So these are quite expensive lenses, but they are designed for very specific people to do very specific lines of works. It's going to be interesting what these lenses are going to be able to do. So I'm going to be interested, but I think these are going to be, very interesting for wildlife photography, especially with the R5. If photographers that may be looking at the R5 for its animal IAF, I think this is going to be something that they may not be able to afford the super expensive telephoto lenses. So I think this is going to be what they're going to be interested in. And then finally, we got some teleconverters. So we got a 1.4 and a 2x. And essentially, if you're not familiar with these basically do the reverse of what a speed booster does. So you know how a speed booster gives you more light, as well as gives you more of the width of the camera. Well, this does the opposite. So this basically gives you a more telephoto look. So for example, that 600mm f11 DO IS STM lens would then become a 1200mm f22 DO IS STM lens. So very, very interesting, and that's going to be really interesting because STMs are super silent. That's one of the benefits of having something of those STM lenses. They're super silent, and with the image stabilizations, hopefully, I believe, still in play, these things, there's a lot of great creative options for people that are going to be getting into the RF line. I think Canon is really coming with some really interesting optics that people that have been wanting to get into the RF system they're now coming out with a lot more affordable options for different niches and different backgrounds. But let me know what you guys think. Is any of these lenses maybe interested to you? Let me know, leave a comment below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, again, hit that like button. It really does help the channel out. Until next time, take care, everyone.